season. Cade Otton and David Njoku, both of these guys are playing extremely well. Cade Otton had had a 2-touchdown game this week, I believe. Am I wrong in assuming? I think it
Nope.
was 2 touchdowns. Yeah.
Yep.
2 touchdowns. Njoku has just been getting better and better, it seems like, every single week. And with Jameis Winston, I mean, like, you kind of want pieces in this offense when looking at, Jameis Winston throwing the football. Who do you prefer at this point in time, rest of the season? I mean, Baker, better quarterback, Jameis Winston, more gunslinger, I mean, do you lean one way or the other? Or are you indifferent? Like, where do you see this at this point?
Starting with David Njoku, he has a nice rest of season schedule. At this point, we're looking at playoffs. If you're that type of a team that's going to make it, or you think you're going to make it, rest of season schedule matters. What also matters is, okay, like, you have the quarterback change. The entire Cleveland offense, especially throwing the football, it looks completely different. It looks efficient. And David Njoku, he's being used even in week 6 with Deshaun Watson. He's had at least 7 targets in 3 straight games, 14 against Cincinnati. That's an anomaly. That's not going to happen every week. But we know he's a really good tight end when he's getting volume. Gets a little bit banged up, but rest of season stretch, I would call it a fairly strong schedule. You get Pittsburgh twice, Denver's middle of the pack, KC's the easiest tight end matchup, Cincy again. So it's there. And again, Jameis Winston injects life, injects competency in this passing attack, something that Cleveland has not had with Deshaun. We go to Cade Otton. There is pure opportunity here. Chris Godwin in that power slot role, he looked like he was going to have a career year. Take away that Chris Godwin role, who's going to suck up those middle of the field targets? Cade Otton's been the guy, right? Of course, Mike Evans going to come back, and maybe Jalen McMillan plays well. But if you look at these 2 games when Godwin was hurt, career highs. Week 7 against Baltimore, mind you, career highs, 8 receptions, 100 yards, 10 targets. This past game, another 10 targets, goes 9 for 81 and 2. Without Mike Evans, there's only one guy with the starting rapport with Baker Mayfield in this offense. That's Cade Otton. And it's not just, the recent production. If you go back, Cade Otton, he started slow, but in weeks 3 and 4, he had 8 and 9 targets. When he's getting this type of a volume, he's going for double-digit PPR points. And now I think the ceiling is even higher. This defense, they're okay against the run. They cannot stop the pass, which means they're going to have to throw. We saw that yesterday. There's going to be a lot of shootouts. They're going to have to throw to stay in games. They're going to have to throw to try to win games. And, I don't love this schedule, but just like with Njoku, you get KC once, Njoku gets KC once. Coming out of the bye week, you get Carolina twice, the second easiest matchup. So you get the second easiest matchup twice, the easiest matchup once, and you get Dallas and the Chargers and Vegas. Like, I think I slightly love Cade. I don't know what to say, slightly lean. I think I love Cade Otton the rest of the season. I think everything screams he's the guy you want.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think kind of like the conversation before. I don't really, by the way, there's some breaking news. I'll get to it after this, but, yeah, I mean, Cade Otton, you can't go wrong with either of these guys. They're both playing extremely well. They're both going to have big roles. Even when Mike Evans comes back, I think Cade Otton should be viable. But yeah, I mean, to your point, like, I think he's also going to be in higher scoring games, based on, the Buccaneers defense is just not that great. Like you said, they play Carolina. I mean, he gets Carolina twice, once in the championship. He gets Dallas. That should be a higher scoring game. He gets the Raiders, not a high scoring game, but, their defense is not that great. And, you have Njoku, right, who gets Kansas City, but then it's Pittsburgh, Denver, Pittsburgh again, and then the Saints. Like, doesn't feel like those are going to be high scoring games. Now, they get Cincinnati, KC, and Miami, Njoku. So, like, to me, that's exciting Plus, you have the possibility of David Njoku getting traded. This is a
Mm.
possibility. Like this team, they're going against the Chargers this week. They're 2-6 right now. They go to 2-7. Team like Denver, one of these teams that is in need of a tight end, like may go out and try to acquire him. Like, so I personally prefer Njoku because of the big playability. I think both guys are in good spots. But to me, like there is still the worry. I know we talked to Mike Evans and, like he's coming back. Doesn't scare me that much, but like Mike Evans is still a guy that's going to get targeted in the red zone. Njoku will be the focal point in the red zone. Otton has to worry about Rashad White, who catches a lot of passes and can get into the end zone too.
But they got Nick
And some
Chubb.
of these, yeah, they have Nick Chubb,
Yeah.
but I'm not too worried about Chubb. I mean, he hasn't looked great yet, which I mean, shocker, right? Like we didn't expect Nick Chubb to come out of the gate swinging, but he hasn't looked great like either, So I don't know. It's close. I prefer Njoku. I think Otton's a good value play too. You probably got him for practically nothing,
Yeah.
and picked him up on waivers.